Welcome to the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars for round number 4, coming all the way from Queensland Raceway, where the weather is nice and warm up here this time of the year. It's the penultimate round as we head towards the end of this series. We're not too far away. I'm Matt Kavanagh, and joining me is Dan Mackey.
Mate, it is fantastic to be up here in the warmer climate. I always love coming north when it's the winter months back home in New South Wales for us. We've got a lot happening here. We've set out a pretty good track, a pretty challenging one. It's going to be good to see how this goes down.
And with over 50 entries between the Pro and Pro-Am categories this weekend, it's going to be action-packed out there on track. As you can see in the championship points after 3 rounds, Brady has come away with the lead on 287. Then it's Jason Ferrin in the Barra Wags, Matt Harvey from Tasmania, Dale Campaign in 4th, Glenn Omrod in 5th, back to James Abbott, Scott Shembry and Patrick Barley.
Yeah, and Dale Campaign, unfortunately, his car's been stuck, so he's not coming along to this round. So that points is definitely going to shuffle up by the time we get to the end of this round.
And after qualifying this morning, this is how it's all ended out. The young gun, Patrick Barley, in that Corvette has gone 94 points to take the number 1 for the first time in the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstars Series. Matt Harvey behind him, the Tasmanian. Brady, another one of the Tasmanians who's been right up there in 3rd. Glenn Omrod being super strong there in 4th position, followed by Michael Ginn, Senna Tunney, Jason Ferrin, and Danny Probert makes it into the top 8. Let's head over and catch up with our number 1 qualifier, Patrick Barley.
Hey guys, we got it. We manifested it. We printed it on the suit. P1, Patrick Barley, number 1 in qualifying, up here in sunny Queensland. How's the car feeling? How are you feeling?
Yeah, the car's feeling a lot better this time. We've made a few changes, which have really ironed the wrinkles out. So just put together a lap. We had a mechanical incident right before qualifying yesterday, so the heart was going and pulled it together and made it happen.
Yeah, we did see the guys under the car yesterday. I'm sure the heart was going. It was a bit last minute. The car's obviously a bit more dialed, and you're starting to really hook into it now. We can take this all the way.
Yeah, the comfort level has definitely changed with how I feel in the car, and just using a bit more of the motor when I need it, and just keeping things a lot more controlled as well, so a lot less erratic. So just feeling more at one with the car.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights from our top 24 Hi-Tec Oils Pro category right now. Angus Kidd and Mickey Moo were 16 and 17 in qualifying, and here they are battling it out. Part of our highlights from the top 24, and it was Angus Kidd right here where he comes around the corner on full lock and gets the wheel over the ripple strip and spins the car out. Mickey Moo goes through to the top 16.
And next up we've got Saxon Moyes in his brand new GT86 taking on Rob White, who's in a borrowed car, not his usual 370Z, unfortunately having gearbox dramas the most of the way through it. Doing a really good job in the borrowed vehicle there, lent to him by one of the Pro-Am drivers, but unfortunately not quite doing enough, and Saxon Moyes takes the victory and moves on through.
Then it was Benny Meir and Mark McTiernan going at it. See Benny Meir there with a big, strong advantage, getting around here in the big RPM from the 311 Motorsports car.
Moving on to a couple of Queenslanders, it's the Levi Clark machine in the chase position. He knows his way around here, but so too does Thomas McManaway. Pretty good battle from those guys, but Levi Clark taking the win.
Then it was Chris Sadler and Ben Odgers that were going to go at it. Odgers leading us here in the Link ECU S15 there, and manages to get the win over Chris Sadler, who's in the unconventional Commodore Ute. We don't see too many of them out there.
And coming up next, we have Scott Shembry, the Master Chef, up against Dane Wilkinson. Loco there in the blue car, chasing hard behind. Scott Shembry having some mechanical dramas and pushing really hard to get this done. This was a really tricky battle, this one. Not very nice, but unfortunately, Scott having similar issues in his chase position and allowing Dane to go through in this one.
Yeah, big smoke show from Shembry as he tries to push through those mechanical gremlins. Next up, it was Daniel Mesmer and his brand new 180 Barra Power taking on Daniel's shoulders. And Mesmer, this car has come out of the box, first time in competition, and just has superior amounts of grip. He was battling there with a little bit of steering issues, and we know he's done the diff overnight. He came out on Sunday when it came to battles, and look at the show he put on. Big smoke show, big speed from him. Remembering our top 8 went straight through our top 24 battles into the top 16.
So that top 8 is Patrick Barley, Danny Probert, Glenn Omrod, Michael Ginn, Matty Harvey, Jason Ferrin, Brody Marr and Senna Tunney. Of course, remember that James Abbott got a bye against Flash Smith, who unfortunately broke his car.
We're going to go straight into the top 16 of the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category battles right now. We're going to kick things off with Patrick Barley taking on Mickey Moo. Here we go. They're going to lead out, and of course it's going to be Patrick Barley this time in the Corvette. Going to take off, and Mickey Moo's going to have to try and stick to the back of his door. It's very quick, that Corvette of Patrick Barley. They'll look at him throw it in. He was our number 1 qualifier, but a little bit of a straight in there with the front wheels, and Mickey's gone wide there just in the end. You can see him go out. They'll push through this middle section there, and you did what the judges did want them to go out a little bit there and leave some room. And Patrick Barley, though, with the grip in this car, is just starting to drive away. Mickey Moo, all the power in the world of the Jaguar LS, and he's somewhere back in the smoke. Oh, that's a straight in there. I don't know quite what's happened to Mickey Moo on this run.
If you have a look, you could just see as he went out of shot, Mickey Moo unfortunately getting it all wrong there, dove off track to avoid hitting the tyre barrier, but a very, very strong run from Patrick Barley.
Here we go, Mickey Moo's going to lead it out, and the tyre smoke already coming off the back. It's a big signature from the Jaguar engine power plants, but he's very shallow there, right up on the ripple strip. Does he leave enough room that time for Patrick Barley to put the nose in? Switch back now, they go through the middle section. Big smoke show on for the Irishman, here he goes. Patrick Barley's right there, though you can see the nose of the Corvette just poking its way through. He's side by side through the final corner. Look, and put on a show. The arms are already out. They're loving it out there on track.
Yeah, very, very solid run from the boys there. They really did well. And so Patrick Barley will go through to the top 8.
Here we go. Danny Probert was the 8th qualifier. This time the ACUG Big XD Falcon. He's got the young gun Saxon Moyes. He's really the master and the apprentice right now on track. See Saxon Moyes doing a great job in that GD86 to really keep that proximity on Danny Probert through the second half of this run. Probert was very quick off the mark there into turn number 1. You can see they finish side by side. This time though, Danny Probert's got to turn it around. Can he do that? Can he stick it to the door of Saxon Moyes? We'll have to wait and see. Look at him, he throws it in. Get on the side of Danny Probert there. Oh, they've almost made contact, and Probert tries to pull it up. Well, that's a hard one there, not wanting to make contact with Saxon Moyes. He's got on that foot brake, and unfortunately he's turned the big ACUG XD Falcon around.
Well, I definitely don't blame him for that. I don't know how many of those doors are still left hanging around in the country. There'd be a few, but most of them would be full of rust. It's a fair bit of work to replace a door if he does happen to hit him. Unfortunately, though, turning around, that's going to be a Saxon Moyes clear win.
How was that? First time in competition in the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series, and Saxon Moyes is taking out a big name there of Danny Probert, and he'll push himself into the top 8.
Alrighty, here we go now. We've got Glenn Omeron taking on Benny Meir. This will be a good one. A couple of New South Welshmen travelling all the way up to the north. Let's see if they can put on a big smoke show for the boys. Pretty good entry. Gleno just sitting in there, tucking into his line, getting about his work. Not many corrections from him. Very, very consistent under that helmet and in that car. Out wide into the zone where we wanted to be. A big correction from Ben Meir back in the background. I'm not sure what's happened. He's messed that all up. They go around the final corner. There's a huge gap between them.
I tell you what, you can never underestimate Glenn Omerod, can you? He's been just creeping up in this championship, getting better and better each time he comes out. Now he's got the opportunity to see if he can do a perfect chase run here. We know how quick the car has been, the 86. He gets up on the back of Benny Meir. There's a little bit of a gap there, but watch Omerod this time. Can he close it up? There he does, right on the side of the 311 Motorsport car. They switch back through the middle section of this chase. Look how close he is. He's somewhere there hiding in the smoke.
Not scared at all. He's going to pop straight out the other side there, switch it around. He's going to bring it all the way on the door. A little bit shallow at the end there. Could have been a bit further back, but overall, that's a really, really good, solid run from Gleno, and he'll get the nod from the judges.
Now it's going to be Michael Ginn taking on Levi Clark. The Queenslanders are going to go out, and Ginn did some fantastic qualifying there, coming out of 5th. What can he do to Levi Clark, who we know has won so many battles before over his years of drifting? Ginn gets out nicely here. You can see not quite big angle as they come out of that first corner. Switches it back. Levi Clark just giving him enough room to change the angle, get the switch done. See Michael Ginn just looking out that door. Here he goes. Switches the car around. Levi Clark's still there, though. He's not letting him go anywhere. And you think that's going to be a nice advantage. Oh, do they make contact in that final corner? That was so close, and they're loving it.
Yeah, there could have been a little bit of contact there. Michael needed to run it a little bit wider at the exit of that. It's going to be up to Levi to see if he can run a slightly better lead line. And Michael there, almost contact, disappearing off. I think there's a straight, and there is. That's going to shut the gate. I was looking forward to a great run here. These two spend so much time up here at Matsuri drifting together, and Michael, which probably the best I've seen him drive in so long. I was really looking forward to this battle.
Yeah, they're really loving these fast-flowing corners, aren't they, as we come up to Queensland Raceway. It's great to be back here and great to have this establishment, all the upgrades that have happened over the last couple of years. All right, though, let's go on. Matt Harvey taking on Ben Odgers. Now, Matt Harvey is right up there in the championship at the moment from Tasmania. He's so clinical when it comes to his runs. And look at the angle he's got. Oh no, and Odgers has a big lock up of the front brakes. That's going to be a huge disadvantage. And look at Matt Harvey. He doesn't know what's going on. He is just so comfortable in this car. He is one with the car at the moment. Doesn't matter what track we put him on. He just sticks it on the line that the judges ask for. In the background, Ben Odgers has really just had to sacrifice a little bit of line there to get that proximity towards the end, but a huge advantage going into this next run they're going to have with Matt Harvey. Can he close the door on Ben Odgers, and can he get the win in this one?
Geez, I tell you what then, when Matt Harvey put his arm out the window, I thought he was actually reaching for a cup of tea. He looked so relaxed. Anyway, little less relaxing now in the chase position as they switch it in. A better entry from Ben Odgers. Matt Harvey, though, he's right there on his door, and he's going to try and close it up more. Here he comes, looking for that rear quarter panel, giving him room to switch back. Still very relaxed in that car. Look at him. Is he even trying it? He's just cruising along. But he's right in the pocket. We asked him to be there, and he said no problems. I'll jump right on that pocket and chase him all the way around. What a battle all the way to the line. That's a great lead from Ben Odgers. Unfortunately, his chase position's going to have cost him, and Matty Harvey will go through.
Well, this one's going to be a great battle. Brady Mayer taking on James Aver. Now, Aver's been fighting some mechanical gremlins in the previous rounds. What can he do here? Oh, no! Contact made in the first corner. Look at the proximity there. Brady Mayer's worked so hard. They've revamped this car, put the 180 front end on it, and a little bit of contact there. That'll take a bit of shine off that back quarter there of Brady Mayer. And I'll finish this battle out, though. Hasn't really thrown him off the line too much there. So James Abbott will still power on there. And Nigella, as they love to affectionately name the car, side by side in the final corner. And that's a great battle.
Yeah, that was a pretty big hit there. If we're watching the replay here, you can see James comes in pretty hard, hits Brody there and throws him right off the line. A lot of drivers would actually drop that. Brody's had to breathe the throttle before he gets back on it. It's allowing James to stay within pretty close proximity there. So let's see what happens when they switch it around. James in the lead, Brody out, chasing hard. He's going to need to maintain the proximity and avoid some contact. And no, he's got contact as well. He's touched him. I'm sure he touched him there. That's going to be an interesting one to try and settle out. It wasn't as big a contact. You could see James's car didn't get as unsettled as Brody's did in the first, and when that was round the other way. And Brody's obviously had to breathe the throttle. The distance is a lot bigger, but oh geez, I don't know. For me, it feels like an OMT. I'm going to have a nice crunch of the scores here and see where we go with it.
Yeah, tough one for the judges there, and they're going to be looking at these replays over and over again in the background to just decide exactly how that will unfold. What I can see, though, is both drivers are pushing it really fast in that first corner, trying to balk the other driver. I think you can see the crew up there. They're pumped. Well, you can see that. They're all along pit wall here today. That's how we know we've got so many competitors, because pit wall is absolutely packed. Number one, they reckon he can go through. James Abbott looking to come back. He's fighting his way in the championship at the moment. He's not quite there, though. They've had some issues leading into this one. Well, a tough decision to be made by the judge. It looks like James Abbott has got the win out of that battle. A really controversial decision. Let's catch up with Brady Mayer and see what he thinks about it.
Yeah, look, I don't really know what to think about that one, to be honest. Me and Jared have done battle a lot of times. I know his driving style and I know where he normally sits at. The first run, he sort of hit me hard enough in turn one that I really should have rotated, but if I didn't wise fab my way out of there, I wouldn't have made it through. But I kept up it, even though I consider that probably to be like a 10-0, right? And then I chased him into turn one, and he was that balked up, he was never going to make it to the outside. And I made contact, and I lose. So I don't know, right? I don't know what to think about it. Anyway, pretty disappointing for the championship. I feel like I got checked up. Told him that. Here we are.
Look, it's not over yet, bro. You're obviously very emotional because you're a passionate man. We'll keep fighting through from here. All right. Sorry, bro.
Brody Mayer there looking very, very frustrated at this point. You can see the disappointment there, and you see it in the body language. Let's catch up with James Abbott and see how he feels about it.
Brody's dirty. I don't know if you've heard. He's got some sort of big calls about how he felt in the battle. What's your sort of recourse on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a shame. I think in this sport you got to have a lot of passion, but I was a bit disappointed when I went and had a chat to him. I'm not one to play games. We talked about before about these new tyres we're trying, and there is a big grip level between what he's running and what I'm running, and I think it's affected our entry to a degree. I hit him. I misjudged how quickly he was going to pull up in the corner, and then he got me, so it's tit for tat. I think we both did our best to just hang on to it and put on a show, finish the lap. It's unfortunate that there's tears over it, but I think once we calm down a bit, we'll have a beer later, we'll sort it out.
All right, let's keep it going.
Well, interesting they say that there, Matt. I've just been looking back through the replays and also the scores, and the scores were actually awarded incorrectly by the judges. The first time, or actually the second time in over 70 national events that I've ever come across that happening. So when the scores are rechecked and retallied, it is actually an OMT. So this one's going to go OMT, and the reason is because in those impacts you can see while James was able to get back on the throttle a lot quicker there, Brody was more unsettled, right? So the tit for tat either way sent it back to the guys.
Yeah, Brady, bit of banter going on at the moment. You and Jabba are getting ready to get back in your cars. Obviously, you've put a protest in, or the guys have had a look at it, or what's the story?
I just had a little chat with the judges. I guess told them what I thought I saw. Just took my GoPro up there as well, which just sort of showed that, I think Jabba was a little bit short to make that corner. Sounds like we might have got our way through. So we'll get the rerun.
Okay, sounds good. So obviously we're not going to leave anything on the table.
No, I don't reckon. Not from here. I'd say she's pretty on.
Yeah, well, just to make it clear as day, like we said to Brody before he left to go back down to the pits, there's nothing that he's shown us that changed any way our decision was. It was 100% a clerical issue, and it was my fault with the scoring, putting a deduction in the wrong column of which driver got it. So it ended up, should have been an OMT from me, which would have sent it to OMT with the other two boys being split. This is the right result. This is the way it should go. OMT, the boys are going to throw down. Unfortunately for me, I just haven't had the opportunity to go and see the boys and explain it because we're in the heat of the battle. We're going flat out here trying to get through this before the sun goes down. We've got to get through them. It's an unfortunate situation. I know there's going to be a lot of hot heads, but I'll get over there after the event and I'll go and talk to as many of the boys as I can, and we'll square it all away, and I'm sure we'll all be having a beer later.
I'll tell you what, emotions are going to be high, and this one will be very interesting to see how fast they want to go into that first corner. How much are they going to push each other in this? One more time, Brody Mayer, James Abbott are going to go at it after this decision, this very controversial decision which we've now fixed. Here we go, Brady Mayer is going to lead us out in this one. James Abbott, last time he came in, put all the pressure on, made contact. Will it happen again in turn number one? Here we go, they throw it down. See a dab of the handbrake there. This time looks like they're going to be so close, but do they make it through? Really pushing right out the body energy. One via this time. Oh, a little bit of contact there in the switchback. That was so close, but a little bit of contact made. He gets right up there, though, Jabs. Oh, and again, the switchback, and you can see the back tail light now gone on Brody Mayer, and the bar is hanging off. He's done a lot of work on that body kit, and he's going to have to repair that one in the pits.
Yeah, that one will get hopefully stitched up back at the start there. You can see a little bit of a bobble from James in the background, pushing hard to be there. Brody seems a lot slower this one. I'm not sure if that's something deliberate or he's trying to do something different here. Obviously, the boys have seen each other run first time round, so let's see how it goes when they turn it around.
Well, will it be tit for tat when it comes to this one? The take off. James Abbott now is going to lead. You can see the Hi-Tec S15 is there. The boot opens up, and will it let the smoke out? We'll have to wait and find out. Here we go. The pedal goes down, and look, those tri-aces just getting put into clouds at the moment. He's starting to drive away a little bit there. He's very fast, James Abbott. Brody Mayer's in the smoke, though.
Definitely would like to be seeing Brody a lot closer than this. For me, he really needs to be engaging. These are pro drivers. These are the top two drivers for me. He had to be closer to really push it. Oh, I don't know which way the other two boys are going to go, but for me, I'm looking at sending that again. I'm going to have a look at my scores, make sure that's where I want to be. We'll see you very shortly.
Hello, we've got the boys here. Let's see what they've got to say. How are we feeling?
Mate, rerun it. Let's go.
It's definitely
Fire
a rerun.
up.
Got to be a rerun.
Brady definitely.
All right, boys are back. We've got a decision.
Oh, there we go. James Abbott's crew wants to see another rerun. I think the crowd do also here at Queensland Raceway. They were going door to door the whole way, but unfortunately it looks like Brody Mayer may got the win. Let's catch up with James Abbott and see what he thinks about it.
What's your feeling on sort of where it's at? Obviously, it's a loss at this stage.
Hey, I'll do that all day if I got the opportunity, but that would require me to protest that result. I would never protest the judge's call. I think what they say is final. From in the car, I feel like that was a win. I think he misjudged the difference in side bite of the tyres we both had. We reran it, he won it. Congratulations. Hopefully he keeps going and wins the day so that I don't feel so bad and continues on his massive points lead in the championship.
Good job, Jabs. Cheers, mate.
Well, that's going to be the question coming out of this. Will Brady Mayer continue with that big point score? Because we've still got battles to go in the top 16. And one of those is Senatani taking on Daniel Mesmer, who's been really fast in this brand new built Barra S180. Here we go. Centre Tunney will lead this one out. And look, he's got a nice line there. Sticks it to the outside. On the go pedal as well. Big smoke screen. Daniel Mesmer's not letting him get too far away, but he's just a little bit twitchy behind. Maybe not right up on the proximity here as we go to the second half of the run. Centre Tunney though, home track advantage. And look at that, the smoke show on the final corner.
You can see Centre really knows this track backwards. And I mean, Daniel from Queensland as well, but a little bit further north. He just had a bit of a messy one there, so he'll have to do a really good lead. Centre's got to get there in the chase though.
Yeah, Mesmer has been super fast on this car. It is gripped up, and although he is getting some teething issues with the new car, look at this, starts to drive away. Car comes back, he's much more comfortable out in the lead run. A bit of foot brake there, you can see a little bit of tyre smoke off the front wheels. Oh, Tunney, just in the background, a lot of angle wound on there, and he's backed off. The proximity's gone right out, and there you go, Daniel Mesmer there, drives the car out of the final corner. You see how far in front he is, and Centre Tunney there, almost off the edge onto the grass. It looks like Daniel Mesmer will get the win. Here we go, Jason Ferrer now, and the keeper Reap Barra Wags taking on Daniel Wilkinson.
And nice initiation there from Jason Ferrer out the front there, doing everything he needs to do right out there on the line. Dane just a little bit behind and a little bit shallow. He's going to need to pick that all up down through this dipper here if he can get anywhere near him. He's getting there. He's coming in. No, he's not. He's falling back again. Pushing hard now as the boys run out to the end of the final section. That's a big advantage out there to the Barrawags. Dane Wilkinson just not engaging in that battle. We're switching around now. Dane's going to take out the lead. The big Barrawags, we know Jason likes to stick it on door. Is he going to do it here? They initiate together. Not a bad initiation from Dane Wilkinson. A little bit back from Jason Ferrin. Can he close the door? Yes, he can. Here he comes right now. Tap, tap. What's that? It's a Barrawags.
Oh, it's a big R31, isn't it? It's got to be ominous in the side mirrors. Oh, look at him. He goes on the back quarter. They switch back in the smoke. He's not afraid of some panel damage. Jason Ferrin coming off last round where he went into a wall. And look at that. Jason Ferrin gets the win in that battle. Others going through into our top 8 will be Matt Harvey, Brody Mayer, Daniel Mesmer, Patrick Barley, Saxon Moyes, Glenn Omerod and Levi Clark. We're going to be back after a short break to look at our Hi-Tec Oils top 8 pro category. Welcome back to Queensland Raceway for round number 4 of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstars, and we are moving into the top 8 of our pro category, and it's going to be Patrick Barley and Saxon Moyes, two of the youngest competitors we've ever seen in this category, and Saxon Moyes the first time competing in the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars. Dan, exciting to see these two young competitors are going to battle it out here in our top 8.
Absolutely, and it's great to see that it's not just those two young competitors. If you have a look down here, you've got Glenn Omeron, another young one, taking on effectively the grandfather in this top 8, Levi Clark. Matt Harvey and Jason Ferrin, certainly not old boys by any stretch of imagination, and Brody Marr and Daniel Mesmer, again, two fairly young fellas. So it's definitely changing. We're getting the younger guard coming through.
He's clicking through the gears in the Corvette, and Patrick Barley will lead out this one. Saxon Moyes doesn't have a lot of angle in this, and you can see the amount of grip that Patrick Barley's got. He just has to put that right foot down, and that 400 odd cubes of V8 goodness will just light up that exhaust. You can see the smoke going through the sunset here at Queensland Raceway. Switches back nicely, but Moyes is there. He is not letting go anywhere, not afraid of putting that car in the smoke screen. Well, that one is going to be tough. I think Patrick Barley maybe with a little advantage at the start of that run.
Geez, I tell you what, that was pretty close, that one. As we switch him around now, we've got Saxon Moyes to lead out here. Patrick Barley's got to get right up on the door. Saxon was all over it, and all over it at this point. Patrick's a little bit further back. If you compare lead versus lead, they're very, very similar. So it's going to come down to chase versus chase, and Patrick needs to engage him. You can see there's definitely, clearly more gap between the two cars. By this point, there was half the gap. Patrick's got to close it. I don't know if he's done enough. He's definitely not there. He's not there like Saxon was, and Saxon's done a great lead run.
Well, we'll have a look at the replay here, and Saxon Moyes puts the 86 right out there on the line where the judges wanted to see it. Nice switchback here as he goes through the middle section of the run, sticks the car on the line. Patrick Barley's not letting him get away, but like you say, that proximity probably not as close in the second half of the run, which is where we've seen everybody really tighten up.
Well, it's a bit too close for us, Matt. We're going to send them OMT one more time for those boys. It'll be back to the pits, new set of tyres, and we'll see them a little bit later in the show.
Next up is Glenn Omerod taking on Levi Clark, and he leads out here in the 86. The Connect Electrical 86 entry, and here we go. Big angle winds it on line, and look how reliable he is getting. He's just consistently doing line after line there. Levi Clark needs to keep that proximity. You can see him, he has a straighten in the background, really gets him off line and just falls off the back. The speed and pace that Glenn Omerod is carrying. Remember, he was third at the last round at Winton, so what can he do this round? He's got the chance now. He's going to have to do a chase run. Can he stick it to someone like Levi Clark on his home ground?
Well, it wasn't quite a straight, and it was definitely still angle there from Levi, but he was really hard on the handbrake on a big, what we call in the industry, an arse drag there. It's a big deduction for Levi. He's got a lot to do here. A little bit of under from Gleno, trying to get initiated in behind him. A pretty good entry, and he's right there now as he switches it back. Again, a little bit of under, but not a great deal. Much more settled through that section than Levi was in his chase. They flick it back around, and Gleno's right there, pops out of the smoke. That's unbelievable. He's all over the door, far closer. And wow, what was that? A shutdown from Levi's car?
Look, I think we need to take a closer look at this one, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Watch them switch around here. Gleno pops out of the smoke. He's right there in the door. To me, it looks like he doesn't change angle. It looks like it's Levi. Oh, geez, I don't know. Hopefully we've got an in-car of that so we can have a look at what happened there. That's really, really interesting. Levi buttoning off down the straight. Maybe it was him. Here's the in-car that I wanted, mate. Looking for this now. Switching back. Watching Gleno. Watching the Levi's car. Levi's car out there, and then yeah, Levi's car definitely straightens. You can see that Levi's car straightens just before the contact. So I don't know what happened to Levi's car there. Might have been an issue. I know he's been fighting oil cut problems, so maybe he had another oil cut, and that's the result.
Well, let's move on to Matt Harvey taking on Jason Ferry. Now, these are two very quick competitors, and they don't mind going door to door. Matt Harvey there, you can see him just peeking out the left-hand side of his helmet, and the Kumo tyres S13 is just looking so settled out on track, but it's got this big purple R31 behind it of Jason Ferry. What can he do? Is he the rabbit or is he the tortoise? We'll have to find out. He's sticking with him though. Matt Harvey's super quick, and look at the side by sides. They come around the final corner.
Wow, well, Matty Harvey always so good and so consistent. We call him the surgeon, but Jason Ferrin there showing what it was like, and whoa, something's messed up there. Matt Harvey off in the weeds. What I was going to say was Jason Ferrin just putting on a clinical chase as far as emulation went. Anyway, Jason's going to skip out of the lead. He'll keep going with that. I'm not sure what happened there, but I suspect that Matty just got that all wrong.
Well, can Jason Ferrin take it all the way, because he's had a couple of podiums. This is the first season out in this Barra-powered R31, and he's had a third and a second so far in the last two rounds. Can he go one battle? We'll have to wait and find out, because at Queensland Raceway he's looking very suited to this track layout in that wagon. You see Matt Harvey, well, he'll be upset with himself there, because it's not often we see him make a mistake. Let's have a look at this one on the replay there.
Oh, yeah, you can see he just didn't get the transition it back. Got it all locked up, and once those fronts were locked up, he was a passenger basically then. I think only a small contact with the Barra-Wag, but yeah, definitely, unfortunately there, after, I guess, commentators curse saying that Matty Harvey is just Mr. Consistent. He's got it all wrong. So,
well, the one more time now between Patrick Barley and Saxon Moyes, and here you go. Patrick Barley's going to lay it down there in the Corvette. Some nice angle as he goes into the first corner, and really nice and smooth there. You can see those front tyres really gripped up, but he's just grabbed the foot brake a little bit there, and Saxon Moyes doing a nice job side by side. Really a lot of respect between these two drivers at such a young age. Look at them go side by side in the final corner, and it's almost picture for picture with the rerun.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that was what we saw last time round. That was unbelievable. Talk about a carbon copy as we switch them around now. Saxon Moyes going to lead out. Patrick Barley not quite getting the entry right there. He's messed that one all up going in, and he's very shallow and a little bit straight. He needs more angle. Another little bit of straight. This is going heavily in the direction of Saxon Moyes, and contact as well. Wow, Patrick throwing everything at it, including the Corvette sink, but can't quite get there. He's managed to get the proximity, but he's done the damage early on, and Saxon Moyes is going to take the rerun and go through into the top four.
We'll have a look at the replay of this one, but it was all the start of the run. He tries to hit the car, resettled there, a little bit of contact made, and from here on in, the proximity is nice and close, but unfortunately for Patrick Barley, those little issues at the start of the run there in the chase are probably going to bring a demise to him, and it looks like Saxon Moyes will get the win out of this battle. We're moving to our final battle in the top 8, and there you go. Daniel Mesmer is going to take on Brady Mayer, who throws it right into that first corner, big angle. Mesmer, though, looks like he's straightened up in the background. He's somewhere in the smoke. Brady Mayer and the Bonnie Energy. 1 Via it is now, going through the rest of this run. You can see the little bit of damage on the back of the car, not phasing him at all. Daniel Mesmer just out of screen there. Does he come on the back of this? No, he is gone. Unfortunately for Daniel Mesmer, that's going to be a big disadvantage in this battle, and he's been going so well in this brand new car he's built.
Yeah, just trying to get everything settled in there, and that one in the chase position, not quite there. Watch him though in this lead. See if he's got the speed to get away and gap Brody Maher in the chase position. Daniel Mesmer, that thing has been lightning quick, and he's doing it again. Brody's no slouch, don't you mind me. He should be right there on the door of him, and he's being a little bit caught out by the actual speed of this. He's probably done enough. Unfortunately, the big mistake from Daniel in his chase position is going to be enough to probably send him through, I'd say, as long as he gets through the final corner, and he does. Wow, that thing's going to be quick. I'll tell you what, when Daniel Mesmer gets hold of that and learns how to drive it, which he's done a lot of this weekend, that thing is going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute weapon, that 180, when he gets it under control. Couple of teething problems with the diff this weekend and other things, and unfortunately his chase run wasn't there, and it looks like Brady Maher is going to get the win out of this battle. And let's have a look at how our top 8 have ended up in the pro category, and it looks like Saxon Moyes is going to go through and take on Glenn Omerod, and Jason Ferrin got the win, and we'll take on Brody Maher in our top 4. Now let's have a look at our Zoo Performance Pro-Am Championship points. You can see Brian Cruikshank still leading the championship coming into round number 4. Matt Murphy behind him. Bo Gagliardi in 3rd. Sam Mudge, Nathan Ranson, Kieran Ratcliffe, Jason Hayden, and of course Damien Tanti down there in 8th position. And this is how our top 8 ended up in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. Flash Smith will take on Mitch Budd. Then it's going to be Cody Davis taking on Kurt Dunn. Bo Gagliardi will take on Jackson Bradbury. And Sam Mudge will take on Jordan Sanderson. Let's check out the highlights from the top 8. Mitch Budd goes through over Flash Smith, who was in a borrowed car and unfortunately doesn't make it through.
Kurt Dunn taking on Cody Davies. A couple of new fellas, they went OMT in this one. Kurt in the OG S15 from back in the day. See if you can recognise where that came from. Driving really well and taking on the other guys. Jackson Bradbury and Bo Gagliardi. This one went pretty hard and pretty tight, but Bo eventually getting the win on that.
Sam Mudge really pushing that poor little RB20, but he gets the win over Jordan Sanderson. Let's have a look at how the top 4 ended up in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. It's going to be Mitch Budd taking on Cody Davies, and Bo Gagliardi will battle it out with Sam Mudge. And here we are at the start of our Zoo Performance top 4, and Cody Davies will lead out over Mitch Budd in that freshly rebuilt LS power plant. Here we go in the first corner. Mitch Budd just maintaining that nice proximity. Cody Davies, though, getting right on the line this time, the S13. They transition back. Remembering they are on the radial tyres, not as much grip as we see the pro category on the semi-slicks, but they're doing a nice job, nice and fast. Mitch Budd has just dropped off the back a bit. Can he make up that proximity in the final corner? Cody Davies does a nice job there in the final corner, takes it all the way out to the outer clipping point. Well, this one's going to be a hard one for Mitch Budd. He's going to have to turn this one round in his chase run. Can he do it?
Well, you've got to remember that Mitch Budd also took out, for those of you that have been watching at home, Brian Cruikshank is not here. He's the championship leader at this point going forward, although he might not be after it. He had a bad qualifying, breaking something in qualifying, and Mitch Budd took him out when they came up against each other in top 24. Mitch Budd, though, showing a clean pair of heels in this battle. Cody Davis chasing in hard. It's very, very close. He's dropping back a little bit, but he's still there. It's going to come down to a pretty close decision for the judges there. And oh, what's happened to Mitch?
He's just partying down the straight. That's what he's doing. He's doing a big party, the Scando, putting it on for the crowd in the final corner. We'll check out the Tri-Ace replay there. You can see he just grabs a little bit of handbrake in there, really sets the car up nicely, flows through to this final corner really well, and just gets away from Cody Davies for a second there.
Yeah, pretty much that's what it all came down to, was proximity in the end for the boys, even though a little bit of a party, and we did tell him not to come back across, but Mitch Budd will take the win and go through the final.
Next battle, Sam Mudge will lead out over Bo Gagliardi. Well, he's got the big LS3 on board compared to the RB20 there for Sam Mudge, but he's going to try and push it hard here in the S13. It's set up really well this weekend. Oh, a little bit of a straighten there maybe here, but Bo Gagliardi in the background. Oh no, he's dropped right off. Issues there. He hasn't got the angle set up. He's really missed those clipping points through that section of the track. And Sam Mudge there will finish his run off nicely, and you can see the Dewar big sticker on the side. You know, it's got a fair bit of power there. Huge turbo on the side of this little 6-cylinder.
All right, let's switch him around. Bo Gagliardi with a fair bit of work to do here, in my opinion. Sam Mudge has just got to tuck it in there, get up on the door, and he's doing just that. Bo doing a pretty good lead run too. A little bit shallow from Sam, but that's okay just to keep up. He switches it back there, switches back into the pocket. Exactly what I wanted to do. Nice and wide, picks up the clips. Now looking for a snappy transition from the drivers here. Sam ducks back out of it, lets him duck in. This is just a clinical run from Sam. I'll tell you what, he has done a very, very good chase there. And what was a pretty good lead as well.
Yeah, going to be an advantage there to Sam Mudge, I reckon, from that first run. We'll have a look at the Trias replay here for the second run. Bo Gagliardi gathered up his composure after that first run and really laid down a nice line, gave Sam Mudge the opportunity to put the nose in there and be that perfect chase run that he could do in this one. Unfortunately for Bo Gagliardi now, he's going to have to battle it out for third position later on. Let's have a look at the Zoo Performance Pro and Battle Tree now. It's going to be Mitch Budd will verse Sam Mudge for first and second. Cody Davis will take on Bo Gagliardi to see who will get it on the bottom step of that podium. We're going to be back in just a few moments with our top four in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category after this short break. Welcome back to Queensland Raceway for round number 4 of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars. We are moving on to our pro category up next now. Let's have a look at our top 4 battle tree. It's going to be Saxon Moyes, a young gun, taking on Glenn Omerod, who's come through to the top 4 once again. And then it's going to be Jason Ferrin, that big R31, taking on our series leader, Brady Mayer. Here we go, Glenn Omerod in the lead, Saxon Moyes in the chase. How will this go? 286ers going door to door. Oh no, up on the curb there for Saxon Moyes. Glenn Omerod, the Connect Electrical 86 with a big advantage there. Lays the smoke screen down, pulls up a bit of handbrake, and he just trims the car up to come through. Gets a nice snappy transition here. Saxon Moyes closes that proximity up and finishes out this run. But unfortunately, that little bobble at the start is probably going to be a little bit of a disadvantage, Dan.
Yeah, not the cleanest run from Saxon in the chase position there. He flicks it back here, but just isn't quite in that proximity zone. You can see he's had to sacrifice some line to get up on that door, which he's done, and he can do, but of course it does have an deduction anyway. So a little bit of an advantage to Gleno for me going through in that one.
Well, he'll get his chance now to chase down Saxon Moyes. Can he apply the pressure? How fast can he go into this first corner? Will it upset Glenn Omerod? We'll have to find out. Gets the car turned in nicely right out on the line. He's looking much more comfortable in this lead run, and there is Glenn Omerod, but he falls off. Issues there, just opens up that proximity as well. Hopefully he can finish this run off. We might see a tight one here when it comes to the points. We'll have to really get down to the judges and find out how they see this one as they finish out door to door in this battle. We'll check out the Trias replay, Dan.
Yeah, definitely you can see a little bit of a bobble there. Glenn just getting himself a little bit too tucked up, trying too hard to make sure that he really drove home that advantage and actually causing himself an issue on that transition. So in the end, it's going to be a slight advantage to Saxon Moyes.
Here we go. The banter's been going all week. Brady Mayer will lead out over Jason Ferrin. Will he push the barrel wags really hard? It's a lot heavier car. Can he hold that speed? And it looks like he's going to go door to door with him, really pushing hard on those tyres and trying to get as much grip as possible. Brady Mayer just can't get away from him. Look at this, Jason Ferrin, door to door, big angle in the 31. Brady Mayer winds on a whole lot of lock there, might have slowed him down for just a fraction, and Jason Ferrin's there looking at him. Look at this, side by side to the final corner. This is what we wanted to see. Wow, what a battle to see who will go through. Can they do this again, and how will this go when Jason Ferrin's in the lead?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, looking at the Trios replay here, you can see a little bobble there from Jason in the background, but a big angle there from the Bonnie Energy car out in front. These boys are really pushing hard right there on the door. Oh, it's very, very close. A lot of points going to be deducted and deducted here and there as we go and switch them around. The Keep It Reet Barra Wags to lead out, looking for that big entry that we've been having from both the boys, and we've got it.
Yeah, look at the angle though. Jason Ferrin winds it on. Brady Mayer doesn't want to let him go, but the power lays down. What's it, 600 kilowatts almost of Barra power as he starts to drive away from Brady Mayer. What's going on here?
Well, you wouldn't expect that. Brody, one of the quickest in the country, but apparently Jason Ferrin says, no way, this Keep It Reet Barra Wags can definitely go quicker than you.
Wow, wow. What will the judges... We're looking for the tiniest of disadvantages. We'll check out the Trias replay now. Small deductions might make the difference between this battle.
Sometimes those deductions, though, can be caused. You saw the correction from the Barra Wags, but he was right up there in the pocket where he wanted to be, whereas Brody sat back. He didn't really engage. I spoke about him not engaging earlier on, and he hasn't done it again. For me, it's Jason Ferrin, and the boys agree with me.
Here we go. The top 4 battle tree looks like this now. Glenn Omerod are going to battle it out with Brody Mayer for 3rd position, and Saxon Moyes and Jason Ferrin will see who's going to be on the top step of the podium. Well, that's our Hi-Tec Oils Pro category, but first we need to settle out the Zoo Performance Pro-Am category, and going to battle out for 3rd position will be between Cody Davies and Bo Gagliardi. Cody Davies will lead this one out. Bo Gagliardi behind. Little bit of gap now. The proximity not quite there. In this battle for 3rd position, Cody Davies with some nice drive. Transition nicely through this section of the track. Really looking for those outer clipping points. Can he get on the power here through the final corner? We'll have to look. Bo Gagliardi not getting him too far away. He's maintained that proximity the whole way. It's not really close, but has been very, very consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. Bo doing everything he needed to in the chase position there. He probably could have been a little bit closer. If Cody can get up there in that chase position and tuck it into the door, then there's a good chance he can win it. But the other thing is, when you do put yourself into that pocket, you do put yourself at a bit more risk of making an error. It's going to be a pretty interesting run when they turn it around. A good run from both of them. A pretty good lead run there as well from Cody Davis, giving him all the opportunities.
And here we go now, Bo Gagliardi. We know a fair bit of power under the bonnet of this car. Can he get away? Does he have a lot more pace over Cody Davies? It looks like he does. He throws it in hard into the first corner. Whole heap of angle there, and now the smoke screen goes up. But Cody Davies, right, he's one-handed too, giving him the 2-finger salute there. As he rousing up, contact made as they switch back. Really upsets Cody Davis' car as well.
I did say you've got to get in there, Cody, and give it to him to make sure it's there, but he's gone just a little bit too deep. Got himself in there, tied himself in a knot. Nowhere to go as Bo Gagliardi just flattens the finish line there. I don't know if we need that for the pro category, do we? They'll just keep going down the straight when they get there.
Check out the Tri-Ace replay there. You see the little hand signal there. It might have thrown Cody Davies off, but yeah, the contact definitely made there, the big disadvantage. And Bo Gagliardi will get the win in this one and will end up on the 3rd spot on the podium. Bo Gagliardi gets himself a whole heap of points in the championship, and it's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up after this next battle, because now it's going to be the battle for 1 and 2. Mitch Budd taking on Sam Mudge. And Mudge will lead this one out. Look at him, scandos it in nicely, gets a whole heap of angle. What will Budd do? Grabs a little bit of handbrake, just trying to get right up on the back quarter. Here we go. Now they set themselves up. How do they go through this middle section? They transition nicely. Bud just gives him a little bit of room, but shallow that time and almost a little bit straight, and tries to get back up in that back quarter. Sam Mudge doing a really nice job this weekend at Queensland Raceway.
Yeah, definitely Sam just getting a nice, consistent lead. Exactly what we asked him to do. Mitch Budd just getting a little bit mixed up in the back there. A definite shallow, so that's definitely going to be a deduction for the judges when we look at it. You can see there on the Tri-Ace replay that he's just not quite got it all sorted, sort of diving, but because of his shallow line, that's what's causing that sort of surging look in that replay there.
So as we turn this battle around after this replay, Sam Mudge definitely with a little bit of an advantage in this final. Remember, this is for 1 and 2. Who's going to be on top of the podium? What can Mitch Budd do? Can he go in fast? What will Sam Mudge do against Budd? We'll have to find out. Oh, look, big angle there from Mitch Budd as he throws the car in and just starts to drive away. That new power plant's doing its job. Plenty of wheel speed there, and Sam Mudge just trying to keep up at this point. You see Mitch Budd puts the car right out wide, and the smoke screen is up, and look at him go as he finishes off this battle in the lead. Wow, big gap there, and he loves a big Scando celebration at the end of it as well, and so does Sam Mudge. I don't think they're going to care where they end up. They're just having a ball here at Queensland Raceway.
Absolutely. Looking at the Tri-Ace replay here now, you can see another good lead. So both drivers had a good lead. So we've got to look back now as judges to see what the chase is looking like. And even though Mitch was shallow through that section they've just gone through, Sam was just nowhere and never really got back there. So lead versus lead, very similar. Chase versus chase, it's a definite advantage back to Mitch Budd. So he's overcome the small deficit. He's going to go through and do what he needs to do to take the win.
So there we go for the Zoo Performance Pro-Am after round number 4. Mitch Budd gets the win over Sam Mudge for first position, and Bo Gagliardi ends up in third with Cody Davies in 4 and puts our championship. Bo Gagliardi is now in the lead by just 5 points. Let's move on to our finals now in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category here. And as you can see, it's going to be Glenn Omerod taking on Brody Mayer for third position. And Saxon Moyes and Jason Ferrin will battle it out. Now, Jason Ferrin hasn't had a win yet. He's been second and third. Oh, it's going to be a big one for him. He's going to be very, very excited. Look at our starter. He's amped up. Here we go. Brody Mayer, Glenn Omerod, third position on the line. Brody Mayer takes the lead in this one, and look at him go in the Bonnie Energy 1 via. Oh no, gets out on the dirt there for Glenn Omerod, and the car gets too sideways, and now it understeers. Big advantage to Brody Mayer. He just needs to finish off this lap. Can he do it? Car looks very, very settled. He's calmed down from earlier. Look at him, just back in the groove of things and back to that huge qualifying scores we're seeing on the line. And the 1 via there with a huge advantage. Glenn Omerod just really pushing hard and just drops a wheel on the dirt, and you lose so much momentum from that.
Yeah, when you're really pushing hard in the chase position, particularly up against the championship leader, you know he's good, you know he can drive well, you trust him, but you've got to be right there. And unfortunately, Gleno just throwing a little bit too hard, trying to make that statement early, put a wheel on the dirt, and then a big understeer from the 86, and he had to regather it from there.
Well, it's not all over yet, because we have seen mistakes made from some of these championship leaders in previous rounds. Glenn Omerod, though, what can he do in the Connect Electrical 86? This time, though, he doesn't put a wheel on the dirt. He is going to send this one into turn number 1. And Brody Mayer almost looks like he's just stepped back a fraction. I don't need to do anything silly now. The spotter's spoken to him on the radio and said, just put a clean run together. Don't do anything stupid, because Glenn Omerod is driving away. And look at the gap now that he's got.
Yeah, that's big gap from Brody. He really, really needs to be engaging more on that. I've given that a fairly solid win to Glenn, but unfortunately, with the big issue and the straight in the first one, it wasn't enough to overcome it. But Brody needs to take note of this. If he's not engaging those chase positions when he thinks he's got a bit of an advantage, he's going to have to be careful, because it's going to bite him, and he may even get a non-engagement, which will effectively flick it around the other way.
Well, it looks like, though, after that first run, Brody Mayer will get the win in this and end up in 3rd position on the podium, with Glenn Omerod back in 4th position. We'll move on to our pro final now. Well, thanks to Hi-Tec Oils, and it's going to be Saxon Moyes for the first time in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Series, taking on Jason Ferrin. Now, Jason with a lot of bit more experience when it comes to drifting. First season, though, in the wagon. I know he doesn't mind putting the car on the line. We saw him make contact in our last round. They've already repaired that car, got it out for round number 4. Saxon Moyes, new to drifting, has only done it for a couple of years and stepped up into this pro car now. Can he get his first win in a national series?
Well, he's thrown it out pretty hard all weekend. He's had another go there. Want to say a quick thanks to all of our officials working hard on the sidelines all weekend. But now back to this. This is where it's got to be. The pointy end of the field. The Barrawags. Jason Ferrin. He wants this. He wants to win it. The whole team's all the way from Victoria up here on Saxon Moyes' home ground. Saxon's trying to stay with him, but the big Barrawags is stretching its legs and running away.
It's just so quick, that wagon. I can't believe he's just driving away from Saxon Moyes, because we know how well built that car is. Have a look at this. Gets plenty of angle there from Jason Ferrin there as he throws the wagon in, but it just, when he puts the foot down, it also has a lot of mechanical grip in that car, and Saxon Moyes is doing everything he can, sacrificing a little bit of the line there just to put the nose in. The 2J's working hard in the background. We can hear it. But the Barra power, 4 litres of fury there, just overcoming it and driving away, and that's a huge advantage. And Jason Ferrin not scared to really go panel to panel when it comes to the chase run. So when you're a young guy, you're new to drifting, you haven't been doing it for this long, it's got to be fairly ominous seeing this big wagon in your side mirrors.
Absolutely, and just watching Jason's run there, he did everything we needed him to do. That was almost a picture-perfect lead line. He was leaving room for Saxon to get in there, and Saxon just couldn't catch him, so I don't know what was going on there. Either way, we switched it around now. Saxon Moyes leading it out. Jason Ferrin there in the chase. He knows he's got a minor advantage, maybe not a big one, but he'll still engage much closer than Brody Maher was in his chase. In fact, he's right there. He's all the way over the door and chasing him through. In the smoke comes the Barrawags. Saxon Moyes, Jason Ferrin, what a battle, but that one for me is going to Jason Ferrin.
Look at that, his first win in the series. Jason Ferrin, as we check out the Triace replay, didn't let Saxon Moyes get away. A little bit of a gap just here where he backs off to let him transition and do the switchback. And then he just puts the wagon right up there again. It's his final corner, though. You could barely put a piece of paper between these two cars. They came out of the final corner. Saxon Moyes, big round of applause, gets 2nd place in his first time ever competing in the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series. And Jason Ferrin gets his first win in the Barrawagon.
Well, what a fantastic battle it's been. You need to get down there and interview the boys on the podium. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here. Queensland Raceway has turned it on. The guys have been so accommodating. It's fantastic to be here. Matty, down to you in the pits.
I put it all on the line out there. I was a little bit bent from contact. Like, things weren't perfect, but put our best foot forward, so.
No, it was a really good day. I really enjoyed it. Getting to meet like some amazing people, you know, here. Really appreciate like everyone helping out, all the sponsors. I don't know if I can remember all of them. There's a few there. But no, it was an amazing day. Thank you so much for organising it all. It was great.
It's redemption. We did it. The car was all beat up from our last round from the snail campaign, but we did it this time. Can't believe it. Finally got the first. I seem to be always stuck in that second spot. But hats off to Saxon Moyes. He actually absolutely killed it. I mean, he may be underage and have the ex-champion Bo Yates car, but it wasn't enough for the Barra Wagoon.
What an event here at Queensland Raceway, our penultimate round in the series, and it's really getting close at the pointy end of the championship. As you can see, Jason Ferrin with his first win in the Barra Wagon. Saxon Moyes, the young gun, so new to drifting, new to the pro category, and new to the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series second. Brady Mayer ends up in third and keeps a whole heap of points, still leading the championship coming out of this round. And Glenn Omerod just off to the side there, unfortunately couldn't quite get on the podium. Let's have a look at how it all ended up. Brady Mayer still leading us with a 34-point lead over Jason Ferrin going into the final round at Sydney Motorsport Park. Matt Harvey a little bit further back there, and Glenn Omerod holding on to that fourth position. James Abbott still in fifth. So it's going to be very, very interesting, Dan, as we go into this final round, the 1st of October at Sydney Motorsport Park.
Mate, I'm looking forward to it. There's definitely going to be a battle royale. You know, things can change up for the podium positions. We've got, as you said, Brody and Jason Ferrin going to be battling on. If someone knocks someone out early on, who knows what's going to happen later on. Definitely it's going to be exciting. And you've still got the likes of, hopefully, Dale Campaign coming back, who's only done 2 rounds this series, and he's still managing to be sitting in 6th place just outside the top 5. Obviously, Patrick Barley, top qualifier, and Mickey Moo. It's going to be his last round in Australia, so that's going to be a big party. He's the life of the party. He's always an enjoyable bloke to be around.
Make sure you're there to see the final round at Sydney Motorsport Park for one huge finale. We'll see you then.